Hello everyone, and welcome to Box Gaming's social race series here with F1 2013. We of course are in Bahrain. This is the last of the social races before the actual ARL season kicks off. And this one is just going to be me. Mikko was busy on the day that we recorded this. I believe it was Sunday, December 1st. Nope, I'm sorry. Nope, this was November 24th. It was a Sunday. And this is the ARL social. So going through my setup there, you guys can see everything for yourself. And I'm going to try and not trying any funny business with the tires. This is comfortably a two-stop race. Doing option prime option is what most people are going to do. And somebody was requesting that I try and be quiet when people are talking. I don't know when people are going to talk though, so I'll try to be quiet when people talk. It's just kind of hard to... Oh, right, yeah, okay. My pedals were not plugged in.
Sorry, my wheel or pedals aren't connected apparently. Sorry to whoever's behind me.
Can hear me connecting them.
I just jammed on the brakes for you, didn't it?
No, I'm just coasting right now.
Oh.
I think it's because I came out of the pits like that. Wait a minute. I don't have this cord connected either, man. Epic fail.
There we go. Okay, all connected. Should be ready to go now. I hope you guys can tell the difference between my live commentary and the post-recorded commentary. So this is the outlap, of course. So, as I was saying, this is comfortably a two-stop race. Option prime option is what most people are going to be doing. No chance really of doing a one-stop at this race, and no one's going to be three-stopping. So this is actually one of the more boring races as far as strategy is concerned. There's really nothing you can do to try and edge out the competition when it comes to strategy at this track. You could maybe try doing prime option instead of option prime option, but I don't think that's any faster. You could maybe do option prime or prime option so that your tires have better tire life, something like that. All right, so into Rich now for my first flying lap. Should be able to do 3 laps using all my curves. Here comes the DRS activation. There it is. Using just about all my curves actually going onto the straight. And topping out at about 195 miles per hour. So I'm not too great at this track. I do actually like the track. I didn't like it like when I first started playing. It took a while to get used to, but I quite enjoy this track now. I'm pretty bummed that it's not actually going to be on the official ARL calendar. I'm also pretty bummed about Australia, Malaysia, and China as well. I really like all 4 of these first initial tracks. As I lock my inside wheel and boom, straight into the wall. And I'm gonna let somebody go by here. Somebody's on my left here. They're like not going by me fast enough. There we go. Yeah, they're on an outlap or an in-lap. I think probably an outlap. So I'm gonna go straight back into the pits, throw on a brand new set of options, and head back out. So this means I only have time to do. Excuse me, I had a yawn there. I only have time to do 2 timed laps now, since I've burned this first one. So I'm using my curves to just try and get back to the pits as quickly as possible. Good news is I'll have a nice clear track though when I come out. And yep, that car ahead was in fact on an in-lap. Or they abandoned after the outlap. Not 100% sure which.
be going to track shortly, be aware.
Alright, so actually it looks like I'm going to put on a new set of the primes and see how high up on the grid I can get. Sorry about the delay there. Just getting a drink. And not the alcoholic kind, the caffeinated kind.
It's currently pretty quiet.
Alright. So yep, most people are in the pits right now after doing their first time lap.
We don't want a penalty.
And I thought there was someone coming, but there is not, so I am going to go ahead and continue. So as you can see, very clear track, only 2 cars out on track at the moment.
Try moving the brake balance.
And I think, nope, yep, so 2 other cars on track. So yeah, I'm gonna basically see how high up on the grid I can get with the primes, because I think that would be the better strategy if possible. But I do believe that I do end up going onto a set of the options after this to just try and get even higher up the grid. And as the cars start to come out of the pits now. And it looks like almost everyone's out of the pits now. Maybe just 2 or 3, maybe 4 people at most still in the pits. As there comes another one. So, yep, looks like only 2 people left in the pits. Alright, so here we are starting the actual hot lap. And using a little squirt of curves for this straight, which I only do during qualifying. I don't actually do that during the race. Going down to 2nd gear.
You're nearly out of fuel, almost out of fuel. You need to pit within the next 2 laps.
I keep yawning for some reason. It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon for me right now. For some reason I'm just yawning left and right. And braking very conservatively for this corner after locking up the last time. At this point I just really need to get a time in. Using about 50% of my curves and DRS and ridge mix, getting up to about 7th gear, 185 miles an hour or so, down to 3rd gear for this corner. And I could have carried a little bit more speed through there. I wasn't expecting the primes to grip quite so much. There's really not a huge difference between the primes and the options at this track. Using the rest of my curves now. Yep, and so that's only 8th position. I am 6/10 ahead of Kiku, but 5/10 behind Silver Arrow. So definitely thinking that I should just go out on the options at this point, I would imagine. I would think I was looking for really top 6 with the primes. If I could get into the top 6 with the primes, that's probably what I was going to do. I must have forgotten what happened in China, though, honestly. I might be better off just starting the race from last place with a fresh set of tires, because with the lag issues that I have at the beginning of these races, I usually get sent back to last place anyway, so might as well start with a fresh set of tires from last place.
We should switch to the option tyre to find some time.
And you can see I'm going very easy around these corners right now. Short shifting, obviously, to save fuel, but I'm going slowly around these corners to try and save these tires just in case if I need them. As someone has improved and knocked me down to 9th out of 11, that's not acceptable, so I'm almost certainly going back in for the option tires here.
5 minutes to go. You're out of fuel. Out of fuel.
Alright, so I do imagine I'll be throwing on a set of the options here and seeing what I can do as far as quality time. What was my prime time, actually? I kind of missed that. It doesn't show my time, unfortunately. What am I doing? I'm probably going to the bathroom or something at this point.
We'll be going to track
Here we go. Rich with 3 laps of fuel. Yep, throwing on the options. And heading out to the track. Oh, I think that's why I did primes, actually, because I was trying to save a set of the options. Need to use 2 sets of options for the race, so don't want to be burning up all my options in qualifying. Alright, so other people are in the pits right now or just coming into the pits right now. So again, because I messed up on my first lap, I got a very clear track up ahead. Only 3 other cars on track. And one of them just lagged to a completely different spot on the track. I don't know if you guys saw that too. That was kind of weird. One of the dots just teleported from the end of Sector 3 to the middle of Sector 3. And yeah, that's something I've noticed recently. My engineer constantly is telling me to set my brake bias to the rear after coming out of the pits. I'm not sure if that's a bug or a glitch or something, but he's always telling me that my front tires are locking, even when I've barely even pushed on the brakes. So I have no idea what he's talking about there. So going very easy on these tires. Almost certainly these tires are going to be the ones that I'm going to be starting on for the race, unless for some reason I end up last. Because there's only 11 people in the room, so anything but last, I will be needing to start the race on the tires that I qualified on. Here we go, going to standard early to help burn off a little bit of fuel, because I don't need to do an in lap after this lap. All right, so yeah, I was able to do a 32.0 on the prime, so I'm looking for a low 31 is what I'm looking for, certainly. Ooh, not a great start to the lap. Carried way too much speed through that. Did not have a good enough line. It shouldn't affect me too much though, maybe only lost a 10th or so. Breaking down to first gear, taking a little bit of curb. A little bit of curves, about 10-15%. Second gear. Could have carried a little bit more speed through that corner, not loads more, but a little bit more. And I am 3/10 up on my previous time already, just in the first sector, so I am on course for that low 131. As I hit a bollard, not sure what that bollard's doing in the middle of the track. And that Mercedes gets nicely out of my way. And being very conservative on the braking there, I didn't want to throw away this lap, so that one corner was one of the places where I really was not pushing. I did not want to mess that up. And missing my apex though, carrying a nice amount of speed, but missing my apex, so I definitely could have taken that a lot better. And hugging the inside line for that corner and breaking down to second gear. Probably should have done third, and I am 9/10 up actually. Gained another 6/10 in that middle sector. So I'm on pace for a high 130 at this point. Let's see if I can take this corner a little bit better. Yes, much better, just barely touching the edge and then running out a little bit wide, which is exactly what you want to do. And unfortunately, I could only get an extra 10th in that final sector. There's really no corners in that final sector, so that's why I couldn't really gain any time. as I drive the car right off the track to let this car behind me go through. I believe that's the Mercedes who let me by earlier. Yep, it sure is. I think that was chicane. So I repay the favor and just let him by. And I do believe I am going to just retire from the session now. Yes, I believe so. And you can see right there, I took almost no life out of these tires. So I am starting from 7th at the moment. It's very possible, though, chicane might improve. Remember, I believe he was that Mercedes that passed me. Chicane is very fast. Split one last season as well, so most likely he is going to beat my 131.0 and move himself up to higher than 8th, and that'll drop me down to 8th. And there's only 2 cars left to cross the line. I wasn't 100% sure if I should retire or not. I believe you're going to see me. Yep, here we go. Finally going to retire. There we go. And I expect we'll see chicane jump up to maybe 4th or 5th. Let's see, what can he do? Oh no, and he... I believe he improved, but I don't think by enough.
What was the half about?
I think that was one of my best laps I have ever done.
Should hope so.
Yeah, as you can see there, Onage was 1.1 seconds ahead of Alex, though. Alex was on the primes, so
Why am I ahead of Jack first now? Last I checked, I was 1,000th behind him. Now apparently we're dead on even, and I'm ahead. How's that worked out?
Codemaster's logic.
So Alex is starting ahead of Fab first, but he said he was actually at 1,000 slower. So
cheating extra 1,000.
Good lap from you with the button shifting.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it wasn't great.
Alex's downshift button is broken for this social race.
Should be more interested in the race, trying to get some consistency out of the thing.
So if you guys are familiar with the...
But I'm upshifting normally with the paddle, and I'm downshifting with my thumb, which is all a bit weird.
If you guys are...
Yeah, you obviously have to
Damn
get
it.
a little bit used.
If you guys are familiar with the Logitech Driving Force GT, he's using the button above the D-pad on the left side to downshift because his downshift paddle is not working. So he's using his thumb.
It's not like your throttle suddenly becomes a button or something.
Yeah, it's still a push button thing, yeah.
Yeah, it certainly could be worse. There are worse buttons to break, but there are better buttons to break. So here's the setup again. 3-2 wings, 111 bars, 2-4 ride height. I got the camber in dead center, actually. I
was on primes as well.
I'm not even sure I needed to do that. If I had another go at this, I would probably do the camber.
You had to tell me that.
Wow, are you on options?
Yes, I did a lap on primes. I was like 9th. I was like, try options, and then I got 7th. So now I wish I just stayed on the primes.
Well, I might not have me in a race. I don't know. I thought I'd give it a go. Something a bit different, but we'll see.
Yeah, as I mentioned before, Alex is starting on the primes, so that's why he was a whole second slower than Onage. I was about...
I actually think, really, that there's still a difference between cars.
Yeah, there probably still is, but it's not... It's like last year. It's not nothing to really worry about, I don't think.
4 tenths compared to my Ferrari hot lap.
What, faster or slower?
Faster in this car.
Hmm.
It also feels a little bit different.
You said the same about... Was it the Sauber and the Red Bull, or one of them? And
Yeah.
I was like, and I didn't notice any difference.
Yeah, I know. But still, when turning in, it feels like this car, has a better front end for some reason. But could be me.
Are they done? Can I talk now? Okay, so...
Is everyone ready?
Son of a bitch. So, yeah, Alex was about 1.1 seconds slower, but I gained about a full second switching from the primes to the options, so he could have maybe battled for pole position. So that was the strategy. Stopping on lap 8 for the primes,
Get,
lap 21 for the second set of options.
T500 RS from eBay for like 250 quid or something. That's the plan.
It probably will take you a lot of time to get used to it.
Yeah, but it's a better wheel. I know that. I've won it one for ages.
Oh yeah, sure. It is better. It is better, obviously, but quite a big step.
Yeah, but it would take me a while to get used to being able to shift down with the button as well. If I can't fix it, or try and fix it, which is loads of effort. I'll probably try and fix it anyway. I'll take it apart tonight, but we'll see.
All right, so here we are going to the grid.
Oh, not bad being the highest prime qualifier. My issues, not happy with
So
that.
here I am in 7th place,
Good luck.
behind Hussein
Yeah,
Kadwa,
correct.
both
Good
of the
race.
Jack Firsts, Alex Gillen, Granu, and Onage. Behind I have Chicane, and I can't remember the other two now. So here we are, lights out, and we are racing, and it looks like I've already maybe gotten a little bit on Hussein. Going to the outside for turn 1. There's a little bit of contact. I'm not sure who touched me there, if anyone. And I'm up to 6th place. Yep, so I jumped Hussein. Chicane also jumped Hussein. So he had a poor start, unfortunately for him. And Chicane's looking to the inside now, and there he goes up the inside. And I'm going to switch back and take him back through that corner.
No problem.
And they are doing a lot of battling. Everyone's off the course. I'm going to sneak up the inside here. And some contact with Granu, and he just kind of clips himself on the front end of my car. And unfortunately, that is both of our races pretty much ruined at that point. I don't really think anyone was to blame for that. I mean, if anyone was, it would be me, I guess. But we were kind of going 3 wide through there. I thought maybe Onage.
Sorry, Granu. I think you got pushed into the front of my car.
Yeah, as you can hear me saying, I thought that Onage actually pushed. I thought there was maybe a little bit of contact between Onage and Granu that pushed Granu into my car. But I looked at it, I believe from Granu's point of view. He put up a video afterwards, and that was not the case. I was kind of just holding my line. If you rewind it and look at it, I didn't turn my wheel left into him or anything like that.
Always went as deep as you then.
It just was an unfortunate situation. So really unfortunate. Down to 10th place here, but not too far behind. Granu came off even worse for wear, unfortunately for him. I mean, he's probably another 5 to 10 seconds back behind me. So I got everything to do. Lots of positions to make up, running in 10th place. And I've got Kiku up ahead. I believe he's in McLaren. And at this point, I just want to stay consistent. I want to not make any mistakes. I want to hope that they're going to be battling up ahead. If you look at the minimap, you can see Onage is already gone because of all the battling that's happening. Unfortunately, no one was able to battle Onage at the start, so that's allowed him to just pull away a nice gap. Onage's video is up already of this. If you guys aren't already subscribed to Onage, I highly recommend you do it. He's among the best racers out there as far as any game, really. As far as racing in video games, Onage is among the best for sure. So I don't remember his YouTube name. I believe it's X Onage something, but if you guys go to our channel, just our main channel page, there's suggested channels to go to on the right side, and Onage is one of those. I would suggest that all you guys take a look at all those suggested channels, actually. We personally here at Box, we subscribe and watch all of those videos, except for, what's his name, Into the Barrier. I personally do not like Into the Barrier. I made a comment on one of his videos one time that caused a lot of backlash because he got early access to F1 2013, and I felt like he wasn't really taking it seriously. There's a lot of people in the world who were pretty upset that people got access to F1 2013 before everyone else. And he was one of those 4 people that got that early access, and he didn't do enough with the early access, in my opinion, at the time. So I made a little bit of a scathing comment on one of his posts, and upset a lot of people in the process. So I still recommend you go check out his channel. You guys might like it. I think part of the reason I don't like Into the Barrier is because of my age. I'm almost 30 years old, and his videos just do not appeal to me at all. He goes more for comedy than for quality of content, as Kiku goes very wide. It looks like Hussein has also had a problem, and Ladeni up ahead as well, also some sort of problem. So all three of these guys actually had, as I'm stuck on that, I don't know if you guys can see that, I was stuck on that curb there, but all three of these guys had a problem going through that high-speed corner, that high-speed left-hand at the end of the DRS straight in Sector 2. And it looks like Ladeni's all bent out of shape after that the final corner as well. I've got DRS on him, and he just lagged right behind me. That was a weird one. As Onich does a 33.6, that is comfortably 2 seconds faster than my previous lap. So, I mean, he is absolutely dominating this field with this race. And Ladeni's going to have a look up my inside, and I actually give him room. I leave him room on the inside in case he decides to make a dive. He wasn't going to dive, I could tell, and then he saw that I was leaving him room, so he kind of went for it, but I was too far ahead, so I hang on to that position. And I'm pretty sure that he used a lot of his curves on that straight to try and get me into that corner, so I should have no problems defending against him. I doubt he has really any curves left at this point. Let's see if I look back to see how far he is. And he's dropped back significantly. He's gone. I'm gone. All right, so good up to 7th place now, comfortably closing in on Silver Arrow, who I do believe was one of the prime starters along with Alex Gillen. So Silver Arrow is on the prime tire right now, so I should be faster for at least a couple more laps. Once these option tires start to wear down, his prime tires are going to be faster than mine, though. So I'm not going to be faster for too much longer. Let's see, yeah, probably 2 or 3 more laps. As I just take that corner, all wrong, and just not having a great race, unfortunately. So lost about 5/10 at least in that final corner there. Doing some fuel saving in 7th gear. Get some oversteer for turn 2. And I had watched some videos of people's races after this race, and I noticed that people were actually short shifting into 2nd and 3rd, I believe, for turn 2. Definitely something I'm going to try the next time I race at this track, because it's not something I was doing for this race. And I think that's one of the spots where I'm losing the most amount of time, actually, is turn 2. Going down to lean for that Sector 2 hairpin. And staying in lean all the way through this corner. And then I'm going to pop it up to Rich.
Sorry, I tried to stay over with the curb.
And these curbs are just a nightmare. I mean, I feel like Codemasters doesn't understand that, you know, these are rubber tires. They're not made of metal. They don't get stuck in things like that. That's not how this works. It's a material that conforms to whatever is underneath it. So, I mean, the curbs really shouldn't suck you out like that. I mean, it's just stupid. I mean, the curbing is the #1 problem I have with these games, honestly. It is not accurate. The fact that the curbs make you spin is accurate, but these train track curbs that they have that keep you pointed in a certain direction or spin you around, that's garbage. That's a joke. Curbs are not like that in real life, so... there's my gripe about the curbs. And it looks like Alex Gillen has actually lost out some positions here.
Man, lag freeze.
Yep, he got a lag freeze. So that's dropped him down to 6. But then he took Silver Arrow back. Remember, Silver's on the primes. Alex is also on the primes, actually, though. And he's actually pulled out quite a gap to Silver already. Excuse me.
The car ahead is 3 seconds up on you.
So no DRS yet. And I think starting next lap is when Silver is going to start being a little bit faster than me, actually. I do believe I've had more practice. Silver Arrow is a split 2 driver this year. He was 3rd in split 2 last year when I was 2nd, so I thought for sure he would be split 1 along with Mikko and I. But I don't think he's put in the hours with 2013, maybe. Or maybe he wants to be a little bit more casual with it. I do know Silver is a pretty casual guy in his personal life, so it's very, very possible that he didn't want to be split 1. He didn't want to be fighting the likes of Alex Gillen and Onage. And he's gone very wide through that first corner. He does seem to be struggling with this track a little bit. A little bit of oversteer. Tire wear is going to start being a little bit of an issue now. Oof. Oh, gosh. Right over those curbs. I feel like I shouldn't be fearing the curbs as much as I do. I don't think F1 drivers fear the curbs nearly as much as I'm fearing the curbs at this track. So that's part of what makes me think it's unrealistic.
The gap to the next car is about 3 seconds. We think the car ahead is keeping fuel back for the end of the race. Pit in this lap.
All right, as Chicane pits at the end of lap 7, actually, that's a little bit of an early stop. It looks like he's the only person to stop on lap 7. Nope, there's someone else stopping at the back. I think that might be Granu because of his issues that he had. I think he might be making an early pit stop to try and jump some people. So that moves me up to 6th place. And as I mentioned, this is around the time where Silver Arrow's tires will actually be the faster tires. And again, going right over that curve, just really not having a good time with that corner. And braking very early, very conservatively. Just very worried about going on the curbs. And I should be using a lot of curves here. No, I'm actually not. Am I going to stay out? What's going on here? Going down to 2nd gear.
We're ready for you. Box in this lap.
Yep, and Silver is actually pulling away from me now. Okay, now it looks like I am pitting. I saved a little bit of curves to use after this final corner here. Help get me into the pits nice and quickly. All right, so lots of people are pitting. That was one of the first cars in the Ferrari, the Pat First or Jack First. And here we go, putting on a set of the prime tires, 3.187 from the Lotus crew. And Chicane has passed me, so I'm back down to 8th place.
Stay clear of the
Only lost 2 positions though. I was in 6th. And I have fresher tires. Braking way too early for that corner, and then also going wide. Just generally struggling with that corner.
One stop to go.
All right, so I need to go, let's see, I just did 8 laps and I'm going to lap 21. So I need to do 13 laps on this stint with the prime tires.
Gap is currently 7 seconds between you and the car.
I can stop a lap early though, because of this track and just how the tires are. I could stop in lap 20 for a set of the options, just do 9 laps on my final stint. But I'm trying to see if I can go to lap 21, because then if I only have to do 8 laps on my final stint, I could just really go bananas on those tires and just really burn them up. And I am closing in on Ladeni up ahead. Going to Rich, using the rest of my curves now. And visually closer to Ladeni. Yep, it says I'm only 4.8 seconds away from him now. It was saying 6 or 7 initially, so I'm definitely closing him down. He isn't a split one driver, so I would expect to be closing him down. Very tentative through that corner. Taking a little bit too much curb and not carrying quite enough speed through that corner. You know, I really like that corner. I'm not great at it, but I do really enjoy it. And only 3.2 to Ladeni now. Which means I believe I am about to get DRS on him. Let's see, it's going to be close. It'll be very close. Taking that corner very nicely, actually. And I'm not sure if he pit. He did pit. So back up to 7th place now. It was weird. It didn't even show my name at the top left for a second there. I don't know if you guys saw that. So I got Alex Gillen up ahead, actually. I guess he's fallen back behind. Oh, right. Silver Arrow, I believe, is still out, actually. Silver Arrow should be pitting at the end of this lap or next lap or possibly lap 13. But he's going to be pitting sometime within the next 2 laps or so.
The car ahead is 7 seconds up on you.
Oh. And that's exactly what I'm talking about. I have literally never seen a curb do that to an F1 car in the dry, ever. That has never happened in the history of F1. I can guarantee you. Maybe in the wet, but, I mean, all of my momentum was moving to the right, and then the curb threw me to the left. So I would like Codemasters to please explain those physics to me, because that makes 0 sense. So let's see how much time I lost here. Only 2 seconds, not catastrophic. I didn't lose as much time as I did with the incident with Granu on the first lap. I lost a lot more time with that than anything else. But still, that's 2 seconds I did not need to lose. And Silver Arrow in the pits at the end of lap 11. So he's going to be doing 9 laps on the options and then 9 laps again on the options. So his next stop is lap 20. But he is now behind me after his 1 stop, but he is on the faster tire. So he is going to be a threat from behind. I need to try and maintain this gap to him. He is on the faster tire at this point in the race. So if he can get past me in this stint, then he will most likely finish ahead of me in the race. If I could stay ahead of him until lap 20 or 21, then that means I should be able to finish ahead of him in the race. So right now it's looking like a 6th place finish, but it could be lower. It could be lower than that. It could be 7th. And chicane is not that far. I mean, we're not even halfway through the race, and he's maybe 7 or 8 seconds up the road. So I would say 4th place is possible in this race. So I should be somewhere between 4th and 7th at the end.
We have some spare fuel. You should consider turning up the engine for a few laps.
See what the gap says. Yeah, it says I'm 9 seconds back, so I believe that means I'm actually only, yeah, like 6 or 7 seconds behind. So, and I believe Chicane is on the same strategy as me, so he should also be on the prime tires. So let's see if I can close that down. It was at 9.0. Remember though, my split times become less accurate as the race goes on. So in the opening laps, it's actually quite accurate. Excuse me, I had a little hiccup there. In the opening laps, it's quite accurate, but it gets worse and worse as the race goes on. And it's still at 9.0, so it looks like Chicane is maintaining this gap. Oh, as we lose connection to Hussein Kadwa, unfortunately. And it looks like Chicane maybe has dropped back a little bit from the car ahead of him. I'm wondering if that's Alex Gillen, and that's why he's dropping back, is just because that's Alex Gillen ahead of him. But yeah, I think Alex might be running in 4th place at the moment in this race. All right, so that gap is now down to 8.6. So I've gained about 4 tenths, give or take a little bit. And that's Hussein disconnecting from the TeamSpeak server. And back up to 8.7 to Chicane now. I can see him though, I just saw him going through turn 1 a second ago. So I do believe I am a little bit closer to him. Still 8.7. Ooh. You can see the fear I have of that curb ever since it's thrown me. I'm just terrified of that curb.
We think the car ahead is keeping fuel back for the end of the race.
And one thing I have not been keeping an eye on is the split time to Silver Arrow, but it doesn't really look like he's closing me in enough. If he has closed me down, it's not by very much at all. So if I can just keep this up, I don't think he'll be a threat, which means I should be somewhere between 4th and 6th instead of 4th and 7th. Taking a lot of curb and using a lot of curves. And 8.9 now to Chicane. I can still see him up ahead though, so I think that number is only going up because of my split time issues. Okay, it's 5.0 to Silver behind. .8 to Chicane, 4.9 to Silver. So I think that means I'm actually holding position, because the number to Chicane is going to be getting bigger, while the number to Silver Arrow is going to be getting smaller as the race goes on, just because of my time glitches. So I believe I'm pretty much holding this position in between Chicane and Silver Arrow, which is kind of making this race boring. I do apologize for that. If you guys are looking to fast forward at all to an interesting part, you probably want to go to about lap 19 or 20. I would imagine that's probably where things get exciting again. As we come to the end of lap 15. And you can tell I've been doing lots of fuel saving where I can while using Rich Mix for the low gears on the straights for the majority. 8.6 now to Chicane and 4.2 to Silver Arrow. So I think Silver is closing me down gradually, but I don't think it's going to be enough. So only 8.4 to Chicane now, so I'm quite certain that I am closing him down at this point. But again, very slowly. Same with Silver Arrow, but we are slowly but surely bunching up. This, I would say, is the most boring part of the race. You can see the field is really spread out. There's only 2 cars, second and third, are running in pretty close proximity. Only 8.2 now to Chicane. 3.7 to Silver, though. Nicely through that corner, actually. Took that quite well. For me, anyway. I'm sure some people could take it even better, but that was good for me. Ooh, a little bit of oversteer. Tires are starting to wear. They still should only be maybe yellow, dark yellow at worst, but they are definitely starting to get a little bit older, which is why I'm starting to struggle a little bit. You see a little bit of understeer as I go through that corner. 3/10 down on my previous lap. There we go. I believe that was my first lap taking that corner in third gear. As the fuel burns off, you're able to take the corners faster and faster, so I don't have to go to second gear for that corner anymore at the end of the DRS straight in Sector 2. And 7.6 to Chicane now. Yep, I think he had a bad last lap. 3.1 to Silver Arrow. So I think I'm catching Chicane faster than Silver is catching me, which is important. .7 to Chicane now, getting much closer.
Our data's showing that the car ahead's likely to be running in fuel conservation mode. His time will be slightly slower than normal.
Sounds like Chicane is actually running in lean mix at the moment. Now I'm actually wondering what tires he's on, because it's possible he might be doing option prime, which is part of the reason I'm having such a hard time catching him at this point. But if he is doing that, his option tires are definitely going to be pretty worn. If he's doing option prime, he would be pitting at the end of this lap as well, almost certainly. So let's see what happens with Chicane.
Let's see if we can catch the car ahead. The gap is 5.
Yep, it's only 5.3 now, so he is definitely struggling with tires. This is not raw speed. This is Chicane struggling with tires and me catching up on him. And let's see, is he going to pit? Is he going to pit? He does not pit. He is staying out So maybe he is just on a prime stint. And I am very close now. Yeah, very, very close. I'm going to be getting DRS on him this lap for sure. And he is on the prime tires. Was he, now I can't remember, was he the one that I said stopped really early? And I'm going to go to the inside, actually. Got the inside line for this corner, and I cut him off, and I got it. That's job done. Didn't even need to use a DRS zone to overtake him, so clearly he is struggling with his tires. And yep, the next car up ahead is Alex Gillen, so that's who was pulling ahead of Chicane that whole time. And actually, if you look at the minimap, he has closed in on second and third, who second and third, I believe, are Fat First and Jack First. So those two teammates are battling each other, and that's allowing Alex Gillen to close up on them. And it's a big gap up to Alex Gillen, so it's looking like fifth is going to be my best possible result now. So I should be either fifth or sixth, depending on what happens with Chicane. And it looks like I've actually already gotten Chicane out of my DRS, so I do believe he is really, really struggling with those tires. He maybe should have just pitted at the end of lap 18 for a second set of the primes, because he's just losing loads of time right now. And let's see if he pits. I gotta imagine that he's pitting, and he's not pitting, actually. He is staying out. And I just passed somebody in the pits. Was that Alex Gillen? Who was it? There's Fat First, who just came out of the pits on brand new options, so I'm not going to be passing him anytime soon. And it is Alex Gillen behind me.
Sorry, pull my cap.
And he has already scythed his way past Chicane. And yep, he's on fresh options, so he's going to be catching me at quite a rate of knot. And
We have a gap of around 4 seconds between you and the
ooh,
next car.
struggling now with the tires. Let's see. I wonder if I'm gonna gamble it and stop at the end of this lap. Nope, actually I don't think I am, because if you look, I looked at the tire life a few corners ago, and actually it looked quite okay. I did just use half my KERS though. I wonder if I am. I go to second gear for that corner, I guess because of the tire wear. And Fat First is pulling away, so I don't think I have any chance at getting fourth place. I'm essentially an entire pit stop behind. Yep, I am going to stay out. This is not my battle.
The pit window is open. Come in this
I am not battling Alex Gillen. I am going to go defensive, though, just because I feel like it. And he's going to go around my outside.
The car behind has just
Oh!
option tires. Looks like it's going to be short to stint.
Bully. That was me calling Alex a bully, because he kind of pushed me out of the way, but not really. It wasn't. I was just joking when I said that. So I am going to be pitting this lap, though. I got a big gap to Chicane. It looks like Chicane did pit finally. I assume that is for the option, so I'm going to be pitting one lap later than him, which means my tire should be just that much healthier than his. But he might jump me. He was not that far behind, so if he puts in a really good out lap, then I could be coming out in 7th place or 6th place? 6th place. So yeah, I should be coming out of the pits in 5th or 6th, and then my battle's really just going to be with Chicane.
Pit in. Okay, you're about 6 seconds away from the next car. Keep pushing and hopefully it will start to decrease.
So here we go, into the pits for the second and final time this race. Going to be putting on a brand new set of option tires, and I only need to do 8 laps on them. And Chicane is approaching the final corner now. 3.2 second pit stop. Chicane's going through the final corner, coming onto the straight now. And it looks like I should be fine, actually. He must not have had a really good outlap. Yep, I am comfortably ahead of Chicane.
No more scheduled pit stops, so look after your tyres.
Yep, not a problem. So up ahead, way up the road, already in Sector 2, we have the Jack First, Fat First guys and Alex Gillen. They're the ones that are battling those 3 cars going down the middle of the track DRS, the mid-track DRS straight. I don't know, the back DRS straight. I don't know. So yeah, those 3 are battling. My only hope really is that they just battle the entire race and slow each other down, which is probably not going to happen. The other hope is that maybe.
We have a little bit to spare fuel. We should keep an eye on it over the next.
The other hope is that maybe someone will crash, lose a wing, something like that, and then maybe that'll give me 4th place. But right now it's looking like 5th place. I am ahead of Chicane with fresher tires and probably a little bit more fuel as well. So it's looking like I'll have no problem getting 5th place, and it's looking nearly impossible for me to get 4th place as they're going into turn 1 right now. So I mean, I am quite a ways behind. As I said earlier, I'm pretty much a pit stop behind them, so pretty big gap. As you can see, ownage is 10 seconds or so ahead of those 3, and then those 3 are 20 seconds ahead of me, and then I'm probably another 5 to 10 seconds ahead of Chicane. So unfortunately not a super exciting race. It's pretty much decided at this point. As I get a little bit of a screen freeze though, that'll make things exciting if that keeps up. And I believe I'm doing some fuel saving at the moment so that I can try and push for fastest lap, but I'm not even sure why I'm doing that, because fastest lap from ownage is like a 1:30 flat, just a minute 30. So I mean, there's no way I'm gonna beat that. So I'm not sure why I'm really bothering to save fuel at the moment, but I am. I think I'm gonna make a push. Yeah, normally I would go to rich right there, but you can see I went to standard instead. So yeah, I think I'm saving fuel to maybe push for my personal fastest lap of the race for lap 24 here. And I really should be using 3rd gear at this stage in the race for that last corner I went through. Gonna make a mental note of that for next time. Alright, 33.4, that was a PB for me. See if I can improve that for lap 24 here. Yep, as I go to rich actually to come out of turn 1, not something I normally do. Oh, and freaking curbing! The freaking curbing again! So I go back down to standard, probably gonna see me go to lean again. Pretty much abandoning this lap as a fastest lap. 5/10 up on my previous actually. So even though I'm not even really trying anymore for fastest lap, I still am on a PB at the moment for sure. And not using much KERS at all, only about 20 to 30%, more like 20%, 20 or 25% of my KERS for that straight. Usually I use closer to 30 or 40%, and probably another 20 to 30% for this corner, or for this straight after this corner here. I am 9/10 up on my previous lap. Alright, here we are again. Gonna try for another PB. Got lots of KERS. Lots and lots of KERS. I'm in 7th gear before even crossing the line. It's a 132.6. That's a new PB. I should be able to get into the low 132s, maybe even a 131, a high 131, which is still a 1.5 off of ownage. You can see I'm actually staying in rich for this whole sector. Granu destroys his vehicle. Not sure if that was intentional or not, but I am 5/10 up my previous lap already. Still going to lean for this section. Really not much of a benefit to use rich for that hairpin. I'm surprised I didn't use rich for the run down to this corner, but that's okay. Oh, and then I lock my wheel! Lock my tire. So, yeah, unfortunately, I don't think this is going to be a PB anymore, or if it is, it's not going to be a high 131, it's still going to be a 132. So back up to Rich, though. I am still pushing.
Fuel is looking okay, but we'll keep an eye on it.
Yep, yeah, so I didn't really gain any time in Sector 2 there.
Let's keep pushing. You're 27 seconds back.
I can pick up some time in this final sector, though, still get a high 131 if I really push. Really push. Come on, Justin from 2 weeks ago, you can do it. And it is a high 131, 131.812. I do believe that's going to be my fastest lap of the race. And you can see actually now the gap to Chicane has just continued to increase. I do believe that he is now battling with Silver Arrow as well, though, so he's forced into being defensive. Silver, I would imagine, probably pit on 21 along with me. So his tires are probably 1 lap newer than Chicane's are, so that's probably why he's hounding him so much. Which is good for me, though. You can see I don't think that I'm closing in on the cars up ahead, 4th place. However, it does appear that Alex Gillen has gotten past at least one of the first guys, Fat First. So Alex is at least in 3rd at this point. And I'm not really sure which dots are which on the mini-map. If that's Onage crossing the line just there, then that means 2nd place actually isn't far behind him. Either that or Onage is just going through turn 1 now. I'm really not sure which is which. I'm looking for blue flags because there's only 4 cars up ahead of me. But there's 5 cars ahead of me on the mini-map, so one of those cars is a lap down. I'm not sure if it's the guy approaching the hairpin, or if it's one of the 4 cars that are all bunched up together. I'm not really sure. I think it might be the guy that's by himself. So someone is battling Onage. Onage is still in 1st, but I think someone is battling him. And they are very close up ahead now. Yeah, I think Onage had someone for company for a second there. Maybe he made a mistake or something, but I think the car that's going through Sector 1 right now, approaching turn 4, I believe it is, I think that's the car that's a lap down. So I think the top 4 are all going through turns 1 and 2 right now. Actually, it looks like Onage kind of pulled away a little. Looks like someone may have had an off even. Is it still Fat First and 4th? Let's see. No, it still says Fat First and 4th. So here it is, the penultimate lap. Only 2 laps left to go. And I got a nice gap to Chicane, so I can just kind of cruise home. And sorry this was such a boring race, guys. I mean, it was kind of exciting at the start for the first half lap, and then I had that incident with Granu, which was more my fault than his, for sure. At least I think so. But again, if you guys go back and look at that, I don't think that I was turning in on him or anything like that. I think I was just holding my inside line, and then just kind of his car got stuck on the front of mine, and it was kind of game over for both of us. So I don't think anyone would have been penalized for it, but it's certainly a bummer. It certainly wasn't Granu's fault, I don't think. So, a bit unfortunate. I think I could have maybe been in this battle for 3rd and 4th, if not for that issue. I certainly would be 10 seconds up the road or so. I mean, I was battling for, I think, 4th position when I had the accident, so who knows what would have happened, but I had pretty good pace here. I just didn't have very good consistency, and me and the curbs just really do not get along. But I'm not the only person to have issues with the curbing in Bahrain. As some of you might remember, I actually spun my Sauber in Season 1 of the Solo Career Series, and in Bahrain, in that Sector 2 corner. Just before the back DRS straight, rear DRS straight. I don't even know what to call that, to be honest. The second DRS straight, the shorter one. I'll point out the corner when we come around it here. So you can see I'm using Rich, obviously. Trying to burn off all this fuel. And it was, as I lock my inside wheel, it was this curb right here that I just went over. That curb spun me in my Solo Career Series. And it looks like actually Fat First has dropped back from Jack First and from Alex Gillen. Huh. Interesting. Actually, I think Onage was that car that was really far away, which means the back marker was the car in between him and 2nd place. That's strange. Oh well.
Well, I'm happy with that considering. Like a boring race for you, Onage. So look like a boring race for you.
Could be worse.
Bit of Vettel.
It's actually more difficult when you drive alone in front than, being with a group. I really mean it.
Or because concentration.
Yeah. I just, being a little bit more sleepy.
All right, so that's 5th place. Sorry, I was gonna let them talk for you guys. 5th place. Everyone that finished ahead of me had a better, faster lap. Yep, 37 seconds behind in the end. That number is accurate, in case you guys are wondering. These figures at the end of the race, these are accurate. So actually, I probably would have only been about 27 seconds back, so I'm not so sure that I probably would have gotten 5th place either way, to be honest. So not the best race, not the worst race though. I had fun with it, some good battling, pretty boring for a lot of it though, so I do apologize for that part.
I was holding my line. I'm pretty sure your teammate pushed you into me, and that spun you. I have a recording, so it'll be up later.
As
I got stuck on the wall, so I have to reverse.
Yeah, you got stuck on the front of my car. I think you were being pushed towards me, and then once you were on there was nothing I could do.
So, yep, that's it. So, as you can hear, I was just kind of defending myself there. Like I said, if it was anyone's fault, it was mine, but I don't really think it was anyone's fault. I think it was just kind of an incident. So, that's it. Be on the lookout for the Spain video with dual commentary from Mikko and I. That's going to be coming up shortly, possibly even later today. I'm recording this at about 3 p.m. local time on Friday. Which is about 9 p.m. GMT. So this will probably be up within the next hour or two or so. And then Spain should be up shortly after that. Mikko's compiling that for us right now. So a couple of online races for you guys. I hope you enjoy it. Be on the lookout for the Spa career race. That's going to be coming soon. I had a problem with my MSI and I had to reinstall it and stuff, so that kind of delayed the Spa solo career series or solo career race. So I do apologize about that, but that'll be out shortly as well. Thanks for watching, guys, and like I said, be on the lookout for those new videos that are coming out soon. Thanks. Bye-bye.